From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the National Book Festival. I'm John Cole. I'm the director of the Center for the Book in the Library of Congress. And it's my, thank you. And it's my pleasure to scream at you. That was a joke. You can hear me now. We're very pleased to have you here. This is the 10th year of the National Book Festival. We know you're going to have a wonderful day here today. I want you to know that today our 1-hour performance here about the Exquisite Corpse Adventure is being filmed for the library's website and for the archives. And you'll have a chance to, I hope, ask some questions and also participate. And we want you to be mindful of the fact that we have camera risers in the back that cannot be tampered with, or please don't sit on them. And also be careful when you speak. You are going to be recorded as well, but I think you'll enjoy it and you'll enjoy the experience. What I have here to demonstrate is the Exquisite Corpse new poster, which is available in the back. We hope everyone will take it and remember that this is a very wonderful adventure story that graphically is going to be demonstrated by our two artists today. And also you're in for a real treat, because towards the end of this, you're going to see the episode number 27, which was written by our Young People's National Ambassador, Katherine Paterson, and it will be a very special treat for all of you. I want to begin by recognizing that this is the 10th year of the partnership between the National Children's Book and Literacy Alliance and the Center for the Book. And it has been a fruitful 10-year partnership which has brought us not only the Exquisite Corpse Adventure, but this wonderful group of writers that are going to be introduced to you by Mary Brigid Barrett, who is the president and the founder, and with Katherine Paterson, a leading light in the National Children's Book and Literacy Alliance. I'm pleased to turn this over to Mary Brigid. Mary Brigid?
Thank you, John. Good morning, Washington. I am Mary Brigid Barrett, and I'm the president of the National Children's Book and Literacy Alliance. And on behalf of the NCBLA, Board of Authors and Illustrators, I welcome you to the Exquisite Corpse Adventure. And we'd like to thank Dr. Billington, Dr. Cole, and the incredibly dedicated staff of the Library of Congress for inviting us to be here today. Yeah, that's great. I have a little housekeeping detail. Everybody should have a program. If you don't have a program, raise your hand, and there's going to be a reason that you need the program. So volunteers are going to keep your hands up till a volunteer gets you a program. And in this program, you're going to find all kinds of information about the Exquisite Corpse Adventure, what a progressive story is. And there's information about our amazing cast of authors and illustrators. And also, there is a schedule in the back that tells you when our authors will be doing their individual presentations later today. As John, I don't know, John didn't mention this, but the Exquisite Corpse Adventure has been read all year round by literally thousands of students and kids around the United States and around the world. We have readers from South Africa and Japan. We have readers for the Exquisite Corpse that are reading the story on read.gov in Europe. So it's been very exciting for us. And on top of that, teachers and librarians and parents are using the Exquisite Corpse with all the educational materials, and they're getting the young people in their lives reading more and writing themselves, which we think is really important. So it's our deepest hope today that this presentation inspires all of you, kids, moms, dads, and teachers, to read The Exquisite Corpse if you haven't read it on read.gov yet, and play the progressive story game yourself. You know, at home when you're all wrapped up in the blankets in winter, you can share stories together. On those really long car trips when you're about to kill each other in the car, that's when you want to share those stories together. And it's important to write your own stories and share them with people you love. And I am really pleased to announce today that The Exquisite Corpse Adventure is going to be made into a book, and it will be published next fall by Candlewood Press, right in time for next year's book festival. And all of our authors on stage, coincidentally, are also contributors to this incredible anthology that the NCBLA put together about our White House connecting literacy to historical literacy. It's won every award imaginable in the last year, and it has a brand new piece at the end of it written by poet Nikki Grimes about her experience coming to the historic inauguration of President Obama, which is the new edition that updates the book, the new piece that updates the book. So make sure that you find this, and when our authors are illustrating between noon and 1 o'clock, they have also very graciously said that they will sign copies of our White House if you want them to sign that besides their own terrific books. Now, those programs that you all have, open them up to the inside, and if you have a red star inside your program, you have just won your own copy of our White House, Looking In, Looking Out. And where are the books are over there in the corner. If you will take your program at the end of the presentation, you take your program and you will get a free book with, thank you Candlewood Press for providing free books for our guests today. Yeah. Okay. John wants to talk about some of the wonderful kids in the audience today.
I want to give a special welcome to 4 classes schools who are with us today. They're brought here by the Old Dominion chapter of the Lynx. We are very pleased to welcome kids, and I want to hear from them when I mention your school. Westgate Elementary from Manassas. Stonewall Middle School, Manassas. Goodwin Middle School, not military, Woodbridge. And the C.D. Hilton Senior High School in Woodbridge. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you, John. Okay, one more item of business. Later on in the program, as John told you, we are going to have a wonderful dramatic presentation, but we need your help. Jerry, our wonderful assistant here, is going to be holding up 2 signs. Can you show the signs? And you can read the signs now. You don't have to react now. But when she holds up one of these signs, make sure you do what it says on the sign. It's your cue to help us with the drama. Okay, finally, it's the time to introduce our wonderful authors and illustrators. From the great state of Massachusetts, illustrator Timothy Basil Ehring. Next to him, resplendent in her beautiful blue, hailing from Rochester, New York, is author Linda Sue Park. To your left, zooming down from the beautiful Hudson River Valley, illustrator James Ransome. From the cradle of democracy, Boston, Massachusetts, M.T. Tobin Anderson. And last but not least, traveling all the way from the beautiful mountains in the gorgeous state of Vermont, our hero, our reading champion, our nation's fairy grandmother, United States National Ambassador for Young People's Literature, Katherine Paterson! realize that many of you have not had the opportunity to discover the Exquisite Corpse Adventure on read.gov. And so we didn't want to just jump into the last episode without a little bit of a summary to get you warmed up for the dramatic performance. So, Mr. Anderson, would you help me out?
Is my mic on? Okay. For those of you who have not yet tasted the delights of the Exquisite Corpse Adventure,
we offer a summary of dangerous exploits and daring deeds. The long
and the short of it.
Go ahead.
The Exquisite Corpse Adventure. The story begins with a train rushing through the night. Our heroes, Joe and Nancy, orphaned twins.
Tobin, you and I, we could be Joe and Nancy.
You want us to be the twins.
Yes!
And I was having trouble thinking of us as the same species.
Forget it. Continue, Tobin Anderson.
Our heroes, Joe and Nancy, receive a birthday card from their previously presumed dead parents. Their task, limb by limb, they must piece together the Exquisite Corpse, a top-secret robot, and rescue their aforementioned parents from certain oblivion, trapped outside of space and time. Bolstered in their quest by a roller skating baby, a pirate, a talking pig, are you getting all this? A pack of wolves, an elephant, a dormouse, a misfortune teller, and a bobble-headed robot. Aided by the mysterious red arrows on their little toes, a crystal ball, and handy skills acquired growing up in the sick and tired circus, lion taming, knife throwing, and trapeze flying. Still on board with me? They travel into the woods, under the sea, up to the sky, back and forth through time, fending off hunger, fatigue, despair, sibling separation, poisoned meatballs, electronic pitchforks, lances, and prods. They battle a narcoleptic clown, a pack of thieves, and dozens of tentacled, eggy thing alien invaders who disguise themselves as gorillas, monster wolves, and squid beasts, torturing others with bad puns and lame yokes. I hope you're getting all this. Only our heroes, Nancy and Joe Sloppy, and the sick and tired circus stand between those alien, eggy things and world domination. Because, you know, a story is not a story unless someone's, you know, trying for world domination, we feel.
That was a really long summary.
You can do better? Let's hear your shorter version.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need a little help here. Ready? Here we go. Orphans no more. Nancy and Joe set out to save their parents and fight their foes. They pieced together the Exquisite Corpse, fight invading aliens, runny and warped. Will they triumph? We don't know, but I'd lay good money on Nancy and Joe.
Woo! Woo!
Now, we have a little commercial break. I would like anyone in the audience whose birthday is today, and maybe even on stage whose birthday is today, to stand up and wave their hands wildly in the air. Hey, let me go on. That's all.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to
you. And everyone else.
Happy birthday to you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. It's almost time to hear the very last episode of the Exquisite Corpse Adventure. But first, like Nancy and Joe, we have to assemble the Exquisite Corpse, the top secret robot. Over on our left, Jerry's going to be putting the corpse together, and we're going to do it. We're going to put the authors to the test. We have a little quiz show, and if the authors could get their bicycle horns and not do it near your mic. Joe said not near your mic.
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
All set?
Mary Brigid, can Jerry stand in front? Because this side can't see at all.
Okay.
Can Mary Brigid stand right in front here?
Oh, can I stand in front?
No, sorry, Jerry.
Oh,
Can
I'm
Jerry
gonna switch
stand?
Oh, Jerry, can you stand in front? Yeah. Okay. Jerry's going to stand in front. And we're going to test these authors out on their Exquisite Corpse Adventure trivia knowledge.
1, 2.
Yep, all set, James?
Yes, 1, 2.
Tobin, how you doing?
Start without me.
Okay, all right. Everybody here, authors, here's the first question. Question number 1 to assemble the Exquisite Corpse. What wily evil character has Tim Aaron drawn? And what happens, that's Tim Aaron drawing down there. What wily evil character has Tim Aaron drawn, and what happens when that character doubles and falls asleep? Oh. Oh. Is it, you got the answer? What happens when he juggles? Who is it?
It's Boppo.
It's Boppo, the evil clown. And what happens when he juggles?
Oh, I don't know that part.
Oh, Katherine Paterson.
He goes to sleep.
He goes to sleep when he juggles. Oh, great. Do we have a body part up there? Okay, question number 2. Which of the twins is older, Nancy or Joe? Oh, James.
Nancy.
Yes.
She's even shocked as I am.
I know. And does anyone know how much older Nancy is than Joe?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
I don't know.
I thought it was 15.
15 minutes. No.
Somebody
Anyone
help.
else?
I think it's less than a minute. I'll bid on less than a minute.
90 seconds.
90 seconds.
90 seconds.
Oh.
Question 3. The character in James Ransome drawing takes Nancy and Joe to spy on the conference of aliens where they see the aliens' true shape for the first time. Who is that character and what is the alien's true shape?
Hathi.
Hathi. Did you draw Hathi?
No, I didn't. Oh,
That's
you want me-
okay.
Okay. I did draw Happy. Not today. I didn't draw him, but I.
Oh, I thought you were.
Yes.
Yes,
yes.
Hathi
I
the
came in
elephant who
late,
did-
sorry.
Right, okay. Question number 4. Where do the twins find Roberta the robot's legs?
Or what?
Roberta the robot's legs. Where do the twins find them? Linda was first.
Under the sea.
No!
Oh!
In the cradle of, they hopped out of the cradle of time, didn't they?
Yes, they found them running through time.
Oh, that's right.
Wait a second, what was-
the arms were
what
under
was on the
sea.
chimney?
The arms.
Fake leg.
Question 5. When the twins discover a gingerbread house in the woods, starving Joe runs to it as a source of food. But Nancy tries to hold him back, saying, "Don't you remember the story?" What story is Nancy referring to? James.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yes! I know everyone here's read Hansel and Gretel. Question 6. How does Joe battle the squid to recover the lost key? Oh my gosh! These national ambassadors are so brilliant. Yes,
I
Catherine.
didn't get a start on James and Linda Sue. Arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling, yes.
Wow.
This is the last question, Jerry. Do we have it almost assembled? One more page. The heart. We need to give Roberta her heart. When Roberta the robot has finally been completely assembled, what last object do Nancy and Joe need to find before they can rescue their parents? Ooh. Oh no, it's that national ambassador
that was a half a
again.
squeak. That was a real timid squeak.
The last thing.
What last object do Nancy and Joe need to find before they can rescue? Yes!
I do know. I did his thing though. The head of the robot.
Oh no, guys, she's wrong. The
Oh,
national
no.
ambassador is
The
wrong.
ambassador is wrong.
The heart.
Brain.
The heart.
No.
The
What?
memory.
Do you want me to give
The
you?
door.
The door.
The
Linda
door.
saves the day.
I knew that.
It's on the
Oh.
All right.
on the object. They had to find the
Yes.
door.
Beautiful.
Now, we have successfully assembled the Exquisite Corpse, Roberta the top secret robot, and the moment we have been waiting for all year. I met a teacher right in front of the audience here who her class has been waiting all year to hear this last, final episode of the Exquisite Corpse Adventure. The name of the title of the last episode is Over Easy. And it is written and now directed as a stage play by Katherine Paterson.
But first, a few words from chapter 26.
Tobin?
All right. On one side of the forest, a train rushes through the night. A train filled with lions and elephants and clowns. And on the other side of the forest, leaping and frothing, yellow and sticky, hurling their unfried and unfriendly splattering cells through the underbrush, a tide of mucousy monsters storms into the world. And gathering around a hut, near a broken train trestle, a few friends stand between an invasion of raw eggs and the fate of the world. In a case like this, there's no sunny side up.
If you have been following this adventure as closely as the authors have hoped, you will not be surprised to know at this moment of supreme crisis, Nancy, the brave, the intelligent, the moral Nancy, took charge of the situation.
First of all, Pirandello must stop the train and tell the ringmaster to set the tent up as quickly as possible with the large opening facing the woods. It's so the aliens will all come rushing in after us.
We're going to be standing in there, like, waiting for them?
Good thinking, Nancy. We should all go now and help them set up the tent. We can do it in that grassy spot right beside the tracks. There's no time to lose.
Everyone, except Genius Kelly, who was very speedy when he chose, swung up on Hathi the elephant's back, and the great beast raced toward the spot.
The train had barely shuddered to a stop when all the members of the circus had been hustled off and, led by the shouts of the ringmaster, went to work. As you can imagine, persons who belong to a circus are well practiced in setting up a tent in an expeditious manner. In less time than it would take you to sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, followed by all 4 verses of the Star-Spangled Banner, provided you know all 4 verses, the big top was erected.
With no time to spare, however, indeed, Hathi and the other friendly pachyderms had barely hammered down the last tent pole when the invasion of eggy things, having cast off all their disguises, came streaming through the woods and slurped into the tent at such a speed that our friends winced at the schlap against the canvas on the opposite side. The ringmaster was already on the job.
Ladies, gentlemen, gentle beasts, and super ova, we have, if a bit hastily, assembled for you the greatest little show on earth.
Forget the show on Earth. We want extraterrestrial jokes.
Ah, of course, but ours are old and tired and very earthly. We need your help.
Yes, give us your yokes.
Then, yuck, the yoke will be on you, old woman. After the yokes, we will give you our very special imported brand of salmonella. You will die slowly and painfully, which will be fun to see. But we won't be able to linger long. We have to spread our contagion throughout the planet.
With these words of mucousy menace, the eggy thing started across the width of the tent toward our heroes.
No, we only want the yolks.
The Ciliova began laughing and separating themselves, the egg yellows from the whites.
Be ready. As soon as we stop joking around, slither hither. We got a job to do, yuck.
Don't worry,
we're white behind you.
Not bad for one so colorless, but somehow we expected better from you yellows. If the condemned prisoner can request one last good smoke, we'd like to go out with one last good joke.
The eggy yolks couldn't bear to be sneered at by a pig and began to scramble for the honor of delivering the last good joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Oregon.
Oregon who?
Oregon gonna take over the world?
You betcha! The yucks that followed this bad joke were so loud, they shook the tent. But to the invaders' distress, not one of our heroes even cracked a smile. The yolks tried again.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Shashka.
Shaska who?
Gesundheit.
No more shouting out answers.
I'm sorry, but I do want to have one last laugh before it's all over, and I already heard that joke. The yolks went into a huddle, or for those readers familiar with the game, into sort of a rugby scrum. At last, one yolk seemed to separate from the mass. There was the sound of a throat clearing.
We're going to have a joke, or if you prefer a yoke off. The winner will have the honor of making the final joke.
Genius Kelly sighed loudly and pretended to examine his hoof. The elephant sighed even more loudly and lay down on the ground and pretended to snore.
If you noodle noggins have any desire to live long enough for the last laugh, this will be your the last chance.
With that, he, she, or it ducked back into the scrum, and soon there arose from that side of the tent such a cacophony of screeches and yucks. But our heroes put their hands, hoofs, paws, feet, or trunks over their ears in defense.
Look.
Joe looked, and what he saw astounded him. The mass of yellows was going around faster and faster. The more the yolks yelled, the faster around they went. The scrum was being scrambled.
Those stupid yolks are beating themselves up. Nancy glanced over at the waiting egg whites. If they had had eyes, their eyes would have been popping out.
Quick, everyone go into your act, fast as you can.
Suddenly, the sick and tired circus was sick and tired no more. Genius Kelly danced and whirled into his magical judo act. The twins did loopity-loops on the high wires. The elephants swung their trunks about, and then their huge rear ends with their tails a-twirling. The ringmaster spun around with his whip going at least 90 miles per hour. Roberta grabbed the hand of the headless woman, who in turn grabbed a monkey's paw, that grabbed the hand of the bearded woman, who grabbed a string of chimps, who grabbed a seal's flipper, who flapped Roberta's other hand, and they raced the ring around Rosie about the startled whites, who grew paler and fuller of air by the moment.
Every now and then, a piteous wail arose above the racket of frenzied circus acts. Help!
Stop! I'm ear sick!
We'll mend our wicked ways if you'll stop whipping us.
But no one even paused to listen. Our heroes knew better than to trust even the pallid portion of the villainous invaders. And before long, all the whites had been whipped into a giant meringue, making the lions roar with delight.
Fire juggling act! The clowns grabbed the torches and juggled and breathed fire onto the newly whipped meringue until it stood up in beautiful ecru peaks.
Scrambled eggs for the main course and a lovely meringue for dessert. It looks almost good enough to eat.
Almost.
Meanwhile, Angel had been busy summoning the cradle of time. With the elephant's help, all the scrambled yolks were piled into the cradle, topped off by the giant meringue.
For a few moments, our exhausted friends watched and listened, the beast panting, the people perspiring, but they needn't have worried. There wasn't even a whimper from the cradle. Neither the scrambled yolks nor the whipped whites showed any sign of reconstituting. The eggy things that had threatened them for so long had been done in by their own rotten humor and the cleverness of our little band of heroes.
Now off you go, back to the Big Bang.
Not so fast!
The ominous but familiar voice belonged, of course, to Bappo. He had one giant clown foot atop Libby, very sloppy, and another holding Professor Alistair Sloppy to the ground. Both the twins' parents appeared to be asleep.
They're under my power. While the rest of you were busy whipping up trouble, I managed to hypnotize this pair with my best juggling act. It was all done with mirrors, very skillfully, if I do say so myself. Now, I will rescue my comrades and throw these two into the cradle of their own making. Then I will extract one final bomb from my pocket, which will, for sentimental reasons, go off in exactly 47 ticks of the clock.
Oh, no. Not that stupid juggling act again.
Just when I thought misfortune had landed on its head.
I never trusted that red-nosed ruffin.
Oink.
Sing.
Huh?
Lullaby and good night.
With roses bedight. Before they got to the third line about the lilies, Bappo had sunk to the earth with a snore.
With cat-like quickness, Angel threw the evil clown and his ticking bomb into the cradle and sent him and the whole alien brunch racing toward the creation of the universe.
It happened so fast that they all simply stared at the empty space in the sky that the cradle had flown through.
Hooray! Everyone turned in amazement. The tiny voice had come from the throat of the headless woman, her first spoken word.
A baby monkey began to clap his tiny hands, and soon they were all cheering and dancing and shouting and hugging one another in relief that the danger had passed and in joy at what they had accomplished.
Hey, woo, woo, woo. Woo.
And now we come to the part of the story that no one likes much. The farewells between friends who have suffered and struggled, and yes, even laughed together.
Pirandello headed off to the forest where he found Orlando munching on gummy bears and took her home. Angel and Sybil said goodbye and started off together, as Angel had become quite fond of the misfortune teller and determined to protect her from any misfortunes that still lurked in her neighborhood.
The last departing pair were Roberta and Genius Kelly. Roberta had cleverly undone Bappo's hypnotic spell over the senior sloppies. When their friends and ours had escorted them to the door before Pirandello's shack, the professor gave a lovely little speech, thanking the robot handsomely for all she had done, and then adding, a bit sadly,
My dear, you are no longer a corpse, as exquisite as you were and are. You are free to go back to that other dimension where you will find others of your rare kind that I constructed in my years behind that door. They will welcome you as the hero you have become. Take this wonderful pig back with you, as he and you belong in that other dimension. He will serve as a companion and a reminder of all you have both done to save not only the sloppy family, but all human and animal kind. The key which you have, you will take back with you through the door. Please lock it behind you and throw away the key, for though the eggy things no longer exist in that dimension or in this one, I am convinced that there should be no more trafficking between our two worlds.
Genius Kelly opened his snout to make a long speech, but Roberta punched him in the short ribs and smilingly urged him toward the door, though she paused on the threshold to hug the twins and say,
Now I know I have a heart because it's breaking.
Oh, man.
It was all Nancy could do to keep from weeping. Even brave Joe was seen to wipe away a tear.
Wait, I have to tell the twins their true names.
Nancy and Joe are not our real names?
No, your true names are Josephus and Natashka.
What? I'm sorry, children. We repented as soon as we filed the birth certificates.
That's why we've always called you Joe and Nancy.
Then it's okay if we just stay Joe and Nancy?
Perfectly okay. Thank you, GK, for all you have done for our children.
May I beg a small favor?
Certainly.
I know it sounds preposterous, but could I have one last joke to send me on my way?
Knock, knock.
Who, may I ask, is calling?
GK.
GK who?
G. Can't you stay with us a little longer?
A fat tear rolled down the porker's black snout.
Very good. I almost wish I could, but as you know, I must return.
With that, he waved a hoof and followed Roberta through the door, which closed soundly behind them.
Suddenly, Joe, who could never remain gloomy for very long, whipped something out of his pocket. It was the birthday card that had started all their adventures.
Mom, Dad, when we got your card, we were in the middle of a really special birthday party.
The elephant clown party and all the excitement. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
We didn't forget. Come back to the tent. Everything is ready. We'll give you the party of your lives.
Now, we don't have time to tell you about the wonderful party. You'll just have to use your imagination to picture clowns and elephants and seals and lions and a bearded woman and the headless woman and monkeys and chimps and every person and creature determined to give the twins the greatest time of their 11 years, even if their hearts knew it was not only a birthday party, but a farewell party.
When it was over, and Nancy and Joe turned for the last, worst goodbye to Hattie and all their friends of the circus, the loving pachyderm said to the sloppy parents,
"Oh, there's no need for you to go. Please make your home with us. Joe and Nancy are already family."
The senior sloppies looked at the twins and then into the pleading eyes of every person and beast assembled.
Why not? I could put my inventive mind to work among you all.
Why not? I've always longed to ride a bareback on the elephants, and I'm a terrible cook.
Yeah, why not? The villains are gone and our parents are here. That was all that was wrong with the sick and tired circus. Villains here and parents missing.
Nancy stroked the place on her arm where the wolf had scratched her. The house with the picket fence and two parents with their twins no longer seemed so desirable. Wasn't a circus the perfect home for a girl who was, at least for the present, part wolf? And besides, she had promised the wolves to speak out for them.
Why not?
Hattie encircled the four sloppies with her warm trunk.
Then it's settled.
I won't say it was the end of all their adventures, for Nancy and Joe were an adventurous pair. But it brings to a close the Exquisite Corpse Adventure.
Wow.
Evil conquered, family united, and friends who lived, I'm quite sure,
happily ever after.
Good job, my boy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yo, Mary Brigid, nice job.
Thanks, Tim. We actually finished before we thought we were going to, and it's so rare that kids have so many distinguished and talented authors and illustrators on stage at one time. Are there any questions you would like to ask any of our authors or illustrators? Anybody? Yes. Okay, this is the question, and what's your name? This is from Annie. How did we get the story online? Anybody want to answer that? Oh, I can answer that.
Perfect.
We got the story online because, as Mr. Cole, Dr. Cole had mentioned, the National Children's Book and Literacy Alliance has been working with the Center for the Book for over 10 years. We actually were the 10 o'clock event 10 years ago at the very first National Book Festival, so it's wonderful. And we wanted to come up with a great idea that would get kids reading and get kids writing, and we thought the best way to do that would be to create a wonderful, wacky, entertaining story that would last all year long, and it's worked. It's been quite successful, and it's been a wonderful partnership, so make sure you get to read.gov, and if you haven't read the episodes, they are there for free.
And Fortnite.
Oh, how do we get the story online? I thought that was the answer.
The way we got the story online was we sent
Literally,
it to Mary Brigid.
literally, how do we get the story online? Oh my God! Well, I guess it's a technical. Yeah, it's a technical question. They wrote the episodes, and then every 2 weeks we sent them by computer to the Library of Congress, and the magical technology people at the Library of Congress typed it all up and got it right onto the computer, like that. We woke up every second Friday morning, and there was a whole new episode and a whole new illustration.
People who haven't seen it, it actually looks like you can read it as a book. It looks like a virtual book on the internet, so you can actually read it in sort of book format.
When you first get to that home page, you'll see all the episodes listed and who wrote them and illustrated them. And there's actually a part where you can click on to hear it and a part to click on to read it. And when you do, you'll end up at that virtual book. And there's an arrow where you can click to go back and forth with the pages. It's really well done. And all the readers who read the episodes are excellent, beautifully read.
That was great, Tim. You did much better than me. All right, any other kids have questions? You can walk right up to one of the 2 microphones in the aisles. Be brave. Your mom and dad are going to be so proud if you ask a question. Here comes somebody. What's your first name?
Elizabeth.
And where are you from, Elizabeth?
Virginia.
Virginia. Elizabeth's from Virginia. What's your question?
I wondered when we'll be able to get the book of the Exquisite.
When you will be able to get the book for the Exquisite Corpse?
Yeah, when are you?
I think you'll be able to get the book for the Exquisite Corpse right here next year at the National Book Festival.
So come back next year.
And just think, we'll have all kinds of authors and illustrators again, and you can get tons of their signatures all at one time.
But it'll also be in stores.
It will also be in stores. Yes.
And online as well.
And online as well. And also, if you don't have it this year, make sure you get those posters at the back. And you could take 2 posters. Any of the kids could take 2 posters. One for their home and one to take to school and show off to their teacher when they get there. Any more? Oh, there's one over here. Who are you?
Nell.
Nell?
Yeah. I live in Massachusetts.
Yay!
We love Massachusetts!
My mom works in Boston. My mom works in Boston.
In the cradle of democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why didn't you just release it as a book to start off with?
Why didn't we release it as a book to start off with? Well, actually, a little bit of history here. There's a real famous author that you'll be reading soon named Charles Dickens. And over 100 years ago, he got all kinds of people reading by putting up a book 1 episode at the time in what in those days was high technology, a newspaper. And now we did the same thing. We put 1 episode up at a time, and we've been building the audience till I think Library of Congress, we are averaging in some months over 120,000 hits a month. Wow. And that's just, we figure that a lot of those were teachers and librarians who were going back and sharing the book with the kids. So our lowball estimate is that over 500,000, possibly up to 1 million kids around the world have been reading the Exquisite Corpse episodes every 2 weeks. Any questions? Oh, right over here.
Which episode was your favorite?
I'll let the authors answer. Which episode, other than your own episode, was your favorite? Sorry, we're making it a little harder. Tobin, did you have a favorite episode?
Well, I love the way that John Sheska began the whole thing. He just did a wonderful job. He's not here, but yeah, he deserved it. I mean, there was so much like energy and enthusiasm in his episode that we all were very inspired by it.
I immediately volunteered to do chapter 2 because I thought, well, I know John's first chapter is going to be crazy, and it's going to get crazier and crazier, so I want to get in fast before it gets too crazy.
Linda Sue, did you have a favorite?
Well, I think that Katherine had the hardest job to wrap. It was a pretty unwieldy package with lots of tentacles. And she either wrapped them neatly or just chopped them off. And I so admire the way that she got the last chapter to pull everything together.
And Tim and James both did a number of illustrations for the episodes. Which was your favorite episode to illustrate, Tim and James?
I would say that the Cradle of Time was really The Cradle of Time was just like, that was written just, I loved every one of them. I mean, the gingerbread house, the door, I mean, all of them were super fun, but the Cradle of Time was something just crazy and wild, and that was one of my favorites, I think.
And what about you, James?
I'm gonna say that first, it was just a pleasure to work on all the episodes that I worked on, but I think the Lemony Snicket episode was my favorite.
Yes, Lemony Snicket wrote 2 of the episodes too.
Yeah, which was really a lot of fun with the train crashes and all the different things that he put in that episode. It was just fun illustrating it. But they're all wonderful. I still don't understand how the writers can just sort of pick up where someone else left off and create these crazy. I mean, it was insane. It's like, a pig with a one eye patch, the baby, the robot,
a pirate,
an arm wrestling squid or something like that. I mean.
And I should say that the reason we did this was the way we did it. We wanted to repeat that kind of game that you all play at home. You've played it at camp. You've played it, on a stormy night. You've played it when the lights have gone out. If you live up north and you get a winter blackout, where one member of the family starts a story and stops at a cliffhanging moment, and then Aunt Margaret takes up the next episode, the next one, and then Cousin Tommy does the next, and then 4-year-old Benita does the next one. And we wanted to keep that spontaneity to it so that kids would feel free to think, hey, this is a game that we play and we can write like this too. So that was a fabulous question. Thank you so much. We'll go over here. What's your name?
Linda.
Linda, what's your question?
How come you gather up here to start a huge festival?
I'm sorry, Linda, could you repeat that again?
How come you come to Washington and start up a huge festival?
How come you all come to Washington to this big festival? Why do you do that?
Because it's so much fun.
Yeah. Fun. But did you ask how the festival was started?
How the festival was started. I think John Cole, we'd have to bring John Cole up to answer that question. How the festival got started? Mr. Cole will be the expert to give you that answer.
The festival was started, came to us when Mrs. Laura Bush, who was a reader and a librarian, helped us start the first book festival and had the idea of bringing people together. And we are now able, after 10 years, to keep this going with the help of wonderful groups like the ones and performers that you've just seen. And we're very pleased to have you all here. And let's close with one final round of applause for my friends, the performers, and the Exquisite Corpse Adventure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You were all wonderful, and we will have one more session a year from now at the next book festival, when we not only will bring back some of the authors who have not been part of the book festival, but we will have the book for sale. And as Mary Brigid said, we can get it signed. Thank you all very much, and thank you.
Okay, one more thing.
Thank you.
Those of you guys that didn't get your questions answered, the autographing session is from noon to 1 o'clock, and if you have further questions, I'm sure our authors would be happy to answer your questions then. And also, if you have a winning program, make sure you head in that direction to get your free copy of Our White House, Looking In, Looking Out. And it's also for sale in the bookstore. And lastly, get your Exquisite Corpse poster and share it with your friends at school and your cousins and all your relatives, and get Grandma and Grandpa reading the Exquisite Corpse Adventure with you too. Bye-bye. Have a great festival.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.